Hi everyone, I'm Stephen. I'm an artist at Disney's Art of Animation Resort in Florida. Here in the resort lobby, 7 days a week, an artist teaches guests how to draw characters from some of your favorite films. You're welcome to come join in, and you don't even need to be staying here at the resort. I'm a big fan of 1988's Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So today, let's draw one of Maroon Cartoon's biggest stars, Roger Rabbit. We'll draw these first initial shapes very lightly, and draw them again later and make them a little bit bolder. So the first shape is going to be a really skinny egg shape. Now we're going to add what we call axis lines or guidelines. So draw a line that goes up and down right in the middle. After that, draw a horizontal guideline. And these guidelines will help us keep the proportions to Roger's head correct. We're going to draw almost like a hot dog shape. Now this hot dog shape will eventually be Roger's cheek lines. His ears are way up there, so let's draw a couple ovals just above Roger's head. One to the left, and on the right one, let's put that one a little bit more upwards. We're going to connect the tips of Roger's ears to the actual head shape. In order to do this, draw a couple big curved lines that go from the tips of the ears on over to the main part of the head. Now we can see he looks a lot like a rabbit, but soon he'll look like Roger. Roger's nose is almost like a really rounded triangle, and we're going to stick this right about where the crosshairs are in our construction shapes. Inside the nose, we're going to draw in a really skinny oval to act as almost like a highlight mark for Roger's nose. At the top of the nose, we're going to draw a small curve for the top part of the mouth. Let's just trace over the bottom half of our really skinny egg shape. So we're going to dip down and swoop right back on up to form almost like a really wide letter U. On each side of that letter U, draw two little quarter circles that curve on up. Then we can do the ends of the mouth by drawing a big curved line that jets on over. For the bottom part of the mouth, we're going to curve on down just beneath our construction shape, and again, swoop right back on up on the opposite side. Inside the mouth, let's sketch out his single tooth, because Roger only has one small tooth that's actually going to be just to the right of our center line. Also inside his mouth, we're going to draw a couple overlapping curves for Roger's tongue. And for Roger's jawline, we're going to draw a similar shape that we did for the bottom part of the mouth, only a little bit lower. Now we're going to draw Roger's eyes, and if you've ever noticed, they're not even. So we'll start with the left eye, and that one's going to cross over the center guideline, curve up, and then curve on down. And at the very bottom part, I'm going to add a little curved line just to act as a little bit more accent mark for the bottom portion of Roger's eyes. When we draw the other one, we're going to tuck the edge of it behind the left eye, so curve up a little bit and curve right on down to the top crease of the nose. Once you have the basic eye shapes complete, we're going to thicken up the top portion of the eyeballs just to give a little bit of hint at some eyelashes for Roger. For the inside part of the eye, we have to draw the iris and the pupil. Let's start off by drawing a simple circle on each side of the eyeball. If you want, you could actually offset them just to add a little bit more personality to Roger's character. Inside the iris, draw another small circle to act as a highlight mark for his eyes, and also draw in the pupil or the dark part of the eye. Now that we have Roger's face done, let's start refining his head shape. Start this off by drawing a really long upside down letter J, and let's mirror that on the other side. With the sides of Roger's head done, let's start sketching out his fuzzy cheeks. The easiest way to draw in hair and fur is just to draw in a bunch of upside down letter V's or overlapping lines. Then once you got your way around most of the cheek line, we're going to curve this on down right straight over to his jaw. And we'll do this to the other side. So again, curve on up and work our way around. And finally, curve it right on down to the jawline. Then to complete the main bottom half of Roger's head, let's draw in his eyebrows. Draw in another upside down letter J, and draw another curve that connects both ends together. Before we get to the ears, let's draw a big poof of hair that's right between them. First, draw a little curved line that connects both the upside down letter J's together. And same principle as we did for his fuzzy cheeks, we're going to draw in his big poof of fuzzy hair. Once we have the poof flipped over, we're going to curve back on down and connect it back to the head. Maybe add a couple little detail curves from the center points of the hair. And the poof is done. Let's move on to Roger's ears. As we work our way around the ears, don't forget to add a bunch of fur and fuzz and more details to the ears and kind of curve it on over. Then we'll move on to the rest of his ear. Once we're near the tip of the ear, we're going to draw a really crooked letter C. We'll do some more overlapping lines to give a hint at really how fuzzy Roger's ears are. Then draw the inner part of Roger's ear. Again, adding more and more fuzz as you work your way around. With the left ear done, the right one will be a little bit easier because it's more straight on. Once you reach the poof of hair, we're going to imagine the ear line coming behind that poof and continuing on down to the actual head shape. With the outside part of the ear done, let's start sketching out the inside part. And it's just more of those little overlapping lines. Now with the line work done, let's start working on some shading. Let's shade in the little puff of hair and just give that an overall quick shade. Then we could shade in Roger's eyebrows. Then for the nose, shade that in as well. Now we can shade in the back half of the mouth and just very, very lightly shade in the tongue. The whiskers are probably the easiest part. We're just going to draw 3 big curved lines on each side of the nose. Now once you have your drawing complete, the very last step, you gotta sign it. And there he is, Roger Rabbit, from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. If you want to learn more, come see me or the other great artists here at Disney's Art of Animation Resort. See you back here next time where we'll draw another favorite character. Sketch you later!